Welcome to my channel Phi Concepts CHM. This is the second part of the regulated power supply series. We will study about transistor series regulator. This is the circuit diagram. When the efficiency is important, the series regulator is preferred. There is a Zener follower circuit over here. So there is a transistor and a Zener diode used. The circuit is called as a series voltage regulator because the load current passing through this load resistor, this load current, this is actually passing through the series transistor Q1. The unregulated DC power supply is fed to the input terminal, that is Vin. Regulated output is obtained across a load. The Zener diode, it provides the reference voltage, so that Zener voltage Vz is the reference voltage. We'll see the operation. The base voltage of transistor Q1 is held to a relatively constant voltage across the Zener diode. For example, if 8 volt Zener is used, that is Vz is 8 volt, then the base voltage of Q1 will remain approximately 8 volts. V out then can be returned as Vz minus Vbe. We will see the first case that suppose the output voltage decreases. If the output voltage decreases, then it will increase the base emitter voltage from this equation. V out increases, so V out decreases, and Vz is a constant. So we can say if V out is decreasing, that means Vbe has increased, which has decreased this output voltage. So when the base emitter voltage increases, that raises the output voltage. Okay, because the base emitter voltage has increased, this will allow the transistor to conduct more, and that raises the output voltage. As a result, the output voltage which had decreased earlier, it will be maintained at a constant level. Now second case, that suppose the output voltage increases. Now if the output voltage increases, then we can say that this is because the base emitter voltage has decreased. So when the base emitter voltage has decreased, it will what will happen is the transistor Q1 will not conduct much, it will conduct less, and that will actually reduce the output voltage. Consequently, again, what will happen is the output voltage which has increased, now it will be maintained at a constant level. Advantages of transistor series regulator: it has the output voltage remains constant in spite of the change in temperature, low ripple content in the output DC voltage, better voltage regulation compared to the shunt regulator, output impedance is very low, good efficiency even for small current loads. Limitations is that although the changes in Zener current are much reduced, yet the output is not absolutely constant. It is because this Vbe and Vz voltages, they decrease with an increase in the room temperature. And also the output voltage cannot be changed easily as no such means is provided. So the DC output voltage is not adjustable. Again, we will see transistor series regulator in the form of voltage feedback regulator, where feedback mechanism is used. There is the unregulated DC supply Vin fed to the voltage regulator. The circuit maintains constant output voltage irrespective of the variations in the load or the input voltage. Q2 transistor, it is called as a pass transistor because all the load current passes through it. Both these circuit diagrams are the same. The sample and adjust circuit is the voltage divider that consists of resistances R1 and R2. The voltage divider samples the output voltage and it delivers a negative feedback voltage, that is VF, to the base of Q1 transistor. The feedback voltage VF, it controls the collector current of Q1. So suppose the first case we will see that the output voltage increases due to some reason. So if V out increases, it causes an increase in the voltage across R2 as it is a part of the output circuit. That means the feedback voltage has increased. This VF voltage is fed back to the base of the transistor Q1. So it has increased. So this will produce a large collector current of Q1. So more base voltage at Q1, hence less collector voltage. Hence what will happen, this collector of Q1 is connected to the base of Q2, hence as the collector voltage of Q1 has decreased, so the base of Q2 will also getting a decreased voltage. So this results in less output voltage as this transistor will not conduct much, the pass transistor will not conduct much as it is getting a less base voltage. So that will automatically decrease this output voltage which has increased. We have assumed that it has increased, so that will be give less output voltage, that is the increase in the voltage is offset, it is decreased. Hence the output voltage remains constant. Second case, that suppose the output voltage tries to decrease due to some reason, then the feedback voltage VF will decrease. So less voltage, the Q1 base of Q1 is getting less voltage, and hence a more voltage at the collector of Q1 which is given to the base of Q2, and hence the transistor Q2 will conduct much and the output voltage will increase, which had decreased, it will now increase, and hence the output voltage remains at the original level. This is the equation for output voltage. Short circuit protection. Now there is a drawback of series regulator, that the pass transistor can be destroyed by the excessive load current. The load current will try to approach infinity if the load terminals are accidentally shorted. To avoid this, a current limiting circuit is added to the series regulator. A current limiting circuit consists of a transistor Q3 and a series resistor R4 that is connected between the base and the emitter terminals of Q3. Since the load current has to pass through R4, it produces a base emitter voltage for Q3. So this is the same circuit. Now we have just added this Q3 and R4 in the earlier circuit. Simple current limiting. When the load current is normal, the voltage across R4, normal means it is not much greater. So the voltage across R4, which is actually the voltage across the base and emitter of Q3, it will be small. The base emitter voltage will be small for Q3, and hence Q3 will be off. In order for the transistor Q3 to be on, the voltage across R4 should be at least 0.7 volts. Hence, the load current we can calculate as IL is equal to 0.7 volts upon the resistance of R4, that is 1 ohms. We get 700 milliamperes. Therefore, if the load current is less than 700 milliamperes, Q3 will be off. It will remain off. If the load current exceeds 700 milliampere, then Q3 will be turned on. Now suppose if the load current is it becomes excessive, then the voltage across R4 becomes large enough and Q3 will turn on. When Q3 turns on, the collector current of Q3 flows through R3, and as this has turned on, its collector voltage will be less, and that is going to the base of Q2. So the base voltage of Q2 will be decreased, and this reduces the conduction of the pass transistor Q2, preventing any further increase in the load current. Hence, the load current for the circuit is limited to about 700 milliamperes. So, if we denote ISL as a short circuited load current, then the voltage across R4 is given as VBE is equal to ISL into R4. We can rearrange it to get ISL, that is VBE upon R4. VBE is the base emitter voltage of Q3, which will be approximately 0.6 to 0.7 volt for a silicon transistor. Now, by selecting different values of R4, the level of the current limiting can be changed. Whatever we want, we can fix it by choosing R4. If R4 is equal to 10 ohms, then the current limiting is between 60 and 70 milliamperes.